Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review of another 80s horror film, and this time it is Pieces, which is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I know a good friend of mine, Efree, is not a fan of this film, and I can understand. It's not a good movie, but I put this in the vein of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 and Don't Go in the Woods, where they're bad, but I think they're fun and entertaining. And I'm not usually a guy that goes into that, but there are some exceptions because I do think this is a pretty entertaining film. I mean, and even the taglines, you don't have to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre. Pieces. It's exactly what you think it is. Yeah, that's true. It's pretty gory, it's pretty laughable, and it's pretty entertaining. Now the setup is in the 40s. This little kid has this little puzzle that when you put it together, there's a naked lady. And the mom is pissed and kicks it, and she's angry. And so the kid, you know, take my porn, you take my nudie puzzle, axes his mom to death, and even saws her to pieces. Then he hides in the closet, and the cops find him, and they think, oh, he's innocent, so someone else came in. I mean, you could tell it's obviously dubbed, and that's not too great. The acting's not too great because of the dub. Although I do like Christopher George as the cop. I like him as an actor. He was in a lot of films around this time. I mean, my favorite of his is Grizzly from the 70s. But he was in The City of the Living Dead, also known as The Gates of Hell. He was in Graduation Day, Mortuary. He plays the cop here looking into this situation. What happens, it jumps to current time, and then killing started again on this campus, of course. And Christopher George is the cop looking into this. And you get this guy who I didn't care for, this younger guy, to help him with the situation. Granted, would a cop get a random kid to help him with the murder case? No. And I didn't care for the kid. I would just rather them concentrate more on Christopher George, I'll be honest. Lynda Day George, she's in there as an undercover cop who pretends to be like a tennis player. And, you know, this movie, what kind it is, in the first 10 minutes. You have the beginning where the kid acts his mom to death because he took my nudie puzzle. This random ass scene that I still don't understand. This woman is on a skateboard and randomly goes through a piece of glass that two guys are carrying, like a mirror. And I'm like, what? Like, this is not like the killer did it or anything. No, literally just a woman on a skateboard. Boom. These two guys are just carrying this piece of mirror. And she crashes through. And I don't know if she dies or not, but it's like, okay, that was random. And then it'll cut to a scene where this other woman is studying. She hears a chainsaw and looks over, and there's a guy that looks like the Shadow. You know, as if Alec Baldwin is playing him. The Shadow knows what blood lurks in the bottoms of women. And she thinks nothing of it. And then this killer saws her head off. And this is a very gory movie, I will say. If you want your gore, you got it in here. But it just has this weird, almost alternate universe entertainment to it. Like, this woman is killed by the pool. And the cops are at the pool looking at this body who's in parts. And there's a bloody chainsaw nearby. And Christopher George is actually talking to the guy going, could that have been done with a chainsaw? And I'm like, no, I think he literally says, could that have been done with a chainsaw like the one over there? I'm like, the one that has blood all over it is right next to the body? And you're literally asking someone, could this have been done by a chainsaw that's over here? What the fuck do you think? The chainsaw is like 2 feet from the body, is all covered in blood and skin and ass. And you're going, could that chainsaw do that? That's what I mean. Like the director who is no longer with us, Juan Piquer Simon, who also did, I think he did Slugs, which was a fun, gory, like creature flick about killer slugs, but it was entertaining. It was pretty gory. It was, again, not as out there as this, but still fairly out there. And you just go, what? Or you have another woman that's in this elevator, and the guy, again, looking like the Shadow, comes into the elevator with a chainsaw, and she doesn't think anything of it. She's like, hmm. Then when he starts the chainsaw, she's like, what are you doing? And, of course, he cuts her arm off. And then they find her in pieces in the elevator. And I guess, like, one of the producers, they had some kung fu movie going on. And so they're like, let's just put a random martial arts scene. So Lynda Day George is walking, and this kung fu guy, I'm like, holy shit, that's Bruce Lee with an L-E. This is the guy who I reviewed some of his movies I liked, like Enter the Game of Death, and Bruce Lee the Superhero, and Enter the Game of Death is pretty good. I reviewed that a month or two ago. I'm like, holy shit, it's that Bruce Lee. And he's doing this random kung fu out of the blue to fight this girl. Then he just passes out. Then he gets up. He's like, oh, I don't know. And then the kid comes by. He's like, oh, this is my kung fu professor. Oh, I don't know what happened. I just bad chop suey. So long. it's I think it's pretty damn funny. I mean, I would say the most intense death scene would be this woman who's killed on a waterbed. And I would say that's the most gruesome, because that's the one that seems the least outrageous in a weird way. Just this like knife, looked like a piece of glass or something, but this knife is stabbing. She's on a waterbed, so it's in slow motion, and so the water's mixing with the blood, and then she tries to run, and he stabs her in the back of the head, and you see a piece of the knife sticking out of her mouth. So again, that was the one that was the most like of the movie. But then you'll have like a woman with her tits hanging out, and she gets killed with a chainsaw sliced to her side. I mean, if you think about it, this is probably the movie that has the most carnage with the chainsaw, which you actually see the carnage. But you see heads decapitated, arms cut off, a slice into the side. There's not many films they really actually have the chainsaw connecting with tissue. Even in Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, when you watch those, how many times do they actually connect? Well, you actually see tissue. Maybe, some of the Michael Bay produced ones, but like the older ones, not a lot. Some aftermath, like Chainsaw 2, when the guy's like half his head's, there's that moment, which that's a fun one. We'll see other random stuff. Oh, the lead guy, the student, at one point he's drinking like a cup from Wendy's. So I just always thought it'd be funny, like Wendy's sponsored this. If you want some chicken fingers, just like slicing up arms, we slice up chicken fingers for you at Wendy's. So again, I just thought it was funny the guy's drinking a Wendy's cup. And you found out who the killer is, and spoiler alert folks, spoiler, don't want to know. It is the dean of the school, a guy named Edmund Purdom, who I know he was also in this film I'll try to get to sometime, called Don't Open Till Christmas, that he directed, then he quit, but then he filmed a couple scenes, and I don't know, a whole backstory to that. the dean judged the female cop, Lynda Day George, is about to kill her. The kid comes, struggles with him. Christopher George pops in and shoots him in the head. And then probably one of the weirdest endings in slasher film history. Because the killer, he was killing these people, I guess, created a nude woman out of body parts. And they found that body. And it looks like the pieces are sewed together. And then the dead body rises up, grabs the lead kid in the dick, and either pops his balls or rips them. It looked like he just squeezed and popped his balls like a water balloon. And that's how the movie ends. And you're like, well, I didn't like the kid. And Christopher George I liked, that cop, and he's alive. And, he's not dead. He just, gonna have a lot of problems. And I don't know why a dead body came back to life. Fuck it, I guess. But, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that are like, holy shit, what the fuck? I'll be honest, on this DVD, I don't know why this is a 2-disc. I really don't. With a woman or with her bikini on. And I don't know why this is a 2-disc. Because all it has for features is 2 interviews, gallery of stills. I mean, not much for features, considering they put this in the 2-disc. Hey, what do I know? But yeah, Pieces, it's not a good movie, but I thought it was a fun movie. Like I said, I like Christopher George. The fun over the top stuff, like Lynda Day George going, bastard, bastard, bastard. At least it didn't bore me and it entertained me. Granted, maybe not in the way it intended. Random kung fu guys, Bruce Lee, my favorite Bruce Lee imitator from Enter the Demon Death. Again, Bruce Lee, the superhero, among others. A lot of over-the-top gore. Pretty decent music. I thought the music... who did the music? I thought it was pretty good, the music. It definitely gave a certain weird feel to it. You also have some liner notes. Definitely one of the more gruesome slasher films. And it's always weird that the killer does look like the shadow. Maybe that was the point. I mean, especially when he's at times in broad daylight killing people, like when he cuts the woman's head off and he has this, again, black cat outfit on. But yeah, the movie is just a bit of insanity, and it's pretty entertaining insanity, I'll say that. But either way, thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you in the next video. Later.